I'm Lois Glevy, and I'm coming to you today from Neighbors Inc. in South St. Paul. We're here in honor of the 50th anniversary of this amazing organization. "20 years ago, I had the honor and privilege of writing the history of Neighbors' first 30 years. That's back when Harv Bartz was executive director, and we captured some of the earlier stories.
25 years ago, a group of people representing half a dozen churches in the northern Dakota County area got together, developed a mission statement, and created a nonprofit organization called Neighbors Incorporated. Today's Insight 7 Cities Report brings you an up-close look at the people and purpose behind this very neighborly community outreach organization.
Well, when I started, we had about $50 in the bank in a little bitty office in a security building. The focus then was basically a food shelf and a volunteer transportation program.
Because of the church base that we have, that people really do see this as their agency, that it is an extension of the church.
To me, the most meaningful thing we do is to provide people like me with a place where they can come and be useful. In my 22, 23 years of volunteering through Neighbors, I have gained more than I've given. And I think most of the volunteers feel that way.
I think people naturally want to help each other. That's part of the purpose of life, is that we're all here together, and when we see a need that someone else has, that touches us, that, yeah, we want to do our part.
On this next In Your World segment, Dennis and I headed down to Neighbors, which is a local nonprofit, and asked them some questions about their food shelves.
In our community, there's a significant number of people who are having difficulty getting their nutritional needs met.
Neighbors Inc. of South St. Paul has done a lot of good things for the cities of northern Dakota County since it was first established in 1972. While they support the area with many different services, such as a clothes closet, transportation, and telecare, we focused on their food shelf.
It's usually not easy for people to come to an organization like Neighbors and ask for help.
Neighbors Inc. has received a $100,000 grant for their 40th anniversary capital campaign. The gift is the first major gift to the campaign, and it came from the Hardenberg Foundation. The funds are for the purchase and renovation of a building on Grand Avenue West in South St. Paul, the purchase of which was closed on in late November.
Adopt a duck! $5!
Great Neighbors Rubber Duck Race.
So we've got our ducks coming up here. Training for this race all year long, looking forward to it, longing for it. All the proceeds, though, go to support all the great work that Neighbors Inc. does throughout your community.
And it's a great day, and now the sun's out, so it's even better.
Here are some of the stories you'll see on today's Insight 7. Local nonprofit Neighbors Inc. is celebrating their 50th anniversary this year with a special honor from the city of West St. Paul.
It'll change focus from time to time and change to keep up with the times. I mean, certainly the COVID crisis has required changes and required for the organization to be flexible in how it provided the services.
As if the local food shelf, Neighbors Inc. isn't already cool enough, they just got way more cool.
Here is our new van, and it is refrigerated, of course. And you can see that it's rather large. We can move a lot of food with this.
Today, staff and volunteers are putting this new tool to use as they get ready to load their van for a delivery.
Well, it's my pleasure to introduce to you our speaker for the day, Jenny D'Ottaviano.
Hello, thank you all so much for having me. And I want to thank you all, seriously, from the bottom of my heart for everything that you guys do for this great community. It reaches so much farther than you probably see on a day-to-day basis from the people that come into Neighbors and that you interact with, because you probably don't see them when they leave there or the lives they live. Living the month-to-month, paycheck-to-paycheck was getting a little bit more difficult. Each month I was in my house, but I was determined not to give up. This was a dream I had. This is something I wanted to do for my kids, so I kept pushing forward. So I looked up the local food shelf and I found Neighbors Inc. and I wrote down the number. And then I put it away. And then I took it out. And then I grabbed the phone. And then I put the phone down. And I went through that for about a week because, like I said, a lot of pride, I'm not gonna ask for help. I was determined I'm gonna figure out a way. Well, I finally swallowed my pride. I called Neighbors Inc. and I walked in there and I was met with friendly faces. And I suddenly realized I wasn't treated like somebody who is poor or the bottom of the food chain. I was treated like somebody who is a customer, who is a client, who is in here for a service. And the service I received was amazing. The friendly faces, the helping hands, the complete lack of judgment was exactly what I needed.
What is the bedrock is the volunteerism and the ordinariness of that. And my hope is that Neighbors will never lose that, the heart and soul of its beginnings and of its, I hope, future. In order to look ahead, I think an organization has to look back. For me, that was a bedrock on which Neighbors could build its knowledge base and be reminded of where we came from, who we are, and that's helpful in where we're going.
The greatest thing that you guys have taught me is how to be generous, how to give a helping hand without judgment. And now my job today is helping people.
So I would hope that that same ability to move with the times continues to be the case, because the programs that we have, including those that have gone and those that we have now, were programs that were developed in response to the community's needs and the community's desires.
You all taught me in those 2 little visits that could have just been brushed aside as practically nothing. They were life-changing to me, and they taught me how to be a better person today. We're all on different journeys, but we're all walking together, and that's our job, is to be there for one another.
Sometimes we talk about, we'd like to do away with the need for hunger relief, and wouldn't that be great? And I hope we can. The thing about Neighbors, though, it's more than hunger. It's about the community coming together to support its neighbors. We'll keep providing opportunities to thrive as long as the community provides us the resources to do so.